Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this important seminar. Those who are here and those who are also watching online, we would like to welcome you on behalf of Just Church. So I just like to briefly just talk about this topic. This is the second of the series of seminars on parenting. Parenting is such an important issue in this current context. If you look around in this world, it's very difficult to raise children. So for this reason, our church is hosting this seminar, and the presenter is Pastor Tim Quick. He is a PhD in psychology and counseling, in addition to being the pastor. So he has also professional experience. He's so well versed in so many things, especially issues relating to counseling and how to bring up children, various ages and different circumstances. So he's not only a pastor, but he's a professional in counseling. So we are also blessed to have him to do the presentation. So I would like to welcome each one of you, and we trust and hope that you would be really blessed by the time you spend here. And you would also take away a lot of things in tips about parenting. So you have come at the right place at the right time. May the Lord bless you all. So, Pastor.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas, for the introduction. We are also putting this online, and it will be on YouTube. You can go to our website, the church website, and actually look for it. We'll give you some of the details later on. Or you can go directly to YouTube and search for it. So if you want to pass it on to your friends, that's an opportunity as well. I think we have the site as yet, right? I don't think we have a site as yet. I'm not on. Yes. Okay, now I'm on. So, let me start with talking about this topic. Shaping the will without breaking the spirit. Let me change out so I can get the, it's not. Yeah. Shaping the will without breaking the spirit. So there are several things in this topic, in this title. What does it mean by shaping, and what does it mean by breaking? What is the will, and what is the spirit? So that's what we'll be talking about shortly. What does it mean to shape a person's will? And what does it mean to shape a person's spirit? The will is the motivation to do things, right? I have to do it. I got to do it. Because you tell me I will do it, otherwise I wouldn't. That's the will, right? The ability to make decisions of your own. The spirit, on the other hand, is deeper within. What happens when your child says, I want to do something, I get to do it, is the spirit behind it. So if you're going to present an ability to play video games, what's at work? Is it the will or the spirit? The spirit is at work, right? How about the will? That is, you have to do your homework. Oh, okay, I got to do it, otherwise that's the will, right? So you can see pretty much differences. And by shaping and by breaking, it means the idea of what I do in regards to taking a person's spirit or will and guiding it. I'll talk about that later on. And then the other aspect of breaking it, making the child listen to me. So I'm going to give you this Harry square, this square here, of shaping, breaking, will, and spirit. You can guess, okay? If I'm successful in shaping my child's will, if I'm successful in that, my child would be obedient. I have an obedient kid. I would tell my child, please do this, and the child says, Yes, I'll do it because I'm shaping my child's will. But if I fail, in failure, if I fail to shape my child's will, what do you think happens? If I fail to shape my child's will, this is what I get. I get a spirit of independence. I'm going to do things my way. You know, Frank Sinatra, I did it my way. Don't get this on YouTube. Infringement of copyright. Okay, I did it my way, right? In success, you get obedience when you shape the will. But if you fail, you get independence. A child who says, I want to do it my way, right? And you say, hey, do the homework now. And the child will say, can I do it later? I'll do it at 5:30, just before I go to sleep, maybe at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'll do it later. I got something to do now. This independence of spirit, if you're shaping. How about if you shape the spirit? What happens when you're successful at shaping the spirit? Somehow it's not going. Oh, in success. Oh, okay. Let's talk about breaking. If you're successful in breaking the child's will, what do you think you'll get? You get, yes, sir, submission. I will do it. Yes, sir. Right? Quite simple. But if you fail in breaking your child's will, what do you get? You are trying to break, and the child resists. In failure, you get anger. Okay? So this is where we got to be careful, because you are trying to break the will, but when you fail in breaking, you produce anger. If you're shaping the will, you're successful, you get obedience. But if you fail in shaping, you get independence. Which would you prefer? Shaping or breaking? Right? Shaping rather than breaking. What happens when you try to shape a child's spirit and you're successful in shaping a child's spirit? The answer is aspiration. Yes, I want to do this. I got things I want to do. I want to go to university. But kid, you're 7 years old. I want to go to university. 7 years old. I want to go to university. I want to invent the best thing possible. How to do that? Why? Because I'm lazy. I want to you get aspiration. Okay? If you fail to shape your child's will, what do you think happens? Well, you get individuality. I want to do it my way. I got to do this. I want to do this. I want to be a basketball player. Okay, there's a small team of basketball players, and there are a lot of people, right? And you got to be best. Okay, all right, you're biting your tongue, but you're saying, I want to shape your spirit, because he's got aspiration, but also individuality. In failure to shape your child's spirit, you get this aspiration. If you break your child's spirit, every time he says something, you say, no, no, no. It's constant no, all right? It's a no face. It's a no atmosphere around the home. In success, you create slavery. A child is slave to your spirit over against his or her spirit. And if you fail, you get rebellion. That's the issue. When you look at shaping and breaking, even in failure, so you look at me and say, so what happens if I fail in shaping my child? So long as you're not leaning towards this side of it, my left to right, this side of it, the breaking side, so long as you focus on the idea of shaping, you're getting ahead. Even if you fail in doing it, there's something positive that comes out of it. Okay? So, by way of introduction, get it in your head. The shape is better than the break. Shape is better than the break. And so, if I manage to shape well, I tend to begin to take my child from a kid who is very individualized to a kid who has an aspiration of moving in a particular direction, or a child who is very independent, I want to do things my way, you listen and you get guided. Many of us do it the way we were brought up. Oftentimes, there's a lot of breaking involved, a lot of breaking. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, am I shaping or am I breaking my child? Because in shaping and breaking, the idea is that there is something different behind the types of behaviors, okay? In shaping, there's reasoning, persuasion, modeling. I'll show you how to do it. Rewarding. Say, okay, negotiating. Oh, okay, if you can't do this, maybe do this first. Oh, maybe we can do that. Negotiating, rewarding, listening, forgiving. That is the heart of shaping. So when you look at shaping, you look at all these characteristics and you go, so you say that breaking is not good, shaping is. So what is shaping? Well, it's these. So in contrast, breaking is shaming, comparing, pushing, threatening, punishing, demanding, record keeping. You did this before. Remember 5 years ago, 2 years ago, when you were young? Record keeping. I had a kid who said to me, he was 17 years of age, and he had all kinds of stories how he was broken. And he is an angry child, very angry. And everything he told me as he spoke about how he was brought up were these: shaming, comparing, pushing, threatening. Look at your cousin. How come you're not as good as you? How come you're so fat? Look at your... That's all there. Comparing, shaming, and so on. By the way, this, if you look at it, what is bullying? What's this? Everything that has to do with bullying is this. What has to do with friendship? People who are your pals, friends, tight. Why is this? You notice that? You can escape bullies in school. Can you escape bullies at home? It's hard to escape a bully at home. So, when you do either one, and there are a lot of good thinking people who says, well, I don't mean to do it, but have you heard of soft love versus tough love? You heard of that? You have to have tough love, right? So in tough love, we use this: shaming, comparing, pushing, threatening, punishing, I should say this, right? Demanding, record keeping, the idea of tough love. But then soft love, soft love is when I wake up on the right side of my bed, then I can do soft love. Except that I always get up on the same side of the bed every day. That's my problem, right? How do I change? So I go tough love, soft love. So I'm going to get us to examine love. There's a passage of scripture in the Bible that's used in almost every other wedding that I've done. Almost every other wedding would choose this 1 Corinthians chapter 13 passage because it's so beautiful a description of love. Okay? This love passage, you can find it in no other passage of scripture or anywhere else that's written that's so beautiful descriptive. So I'm going to get us to do this, all right? This is a passage that runs for several verses in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. So I'm going to get you to do this. So it's your turn to work now, all right? When you see something as soft love, say soft. Can you try it? Soft. When you see something as tough love, say tough. Okay? All right? So here we go. Ready for the scripture? Love is patient and kind. Soft. Okay, so far, one up, right? Love does not envy or boast. Soft. It is soft. It is soft. It doesn't envy, it doesn't boast, right? It's not like I'm bigger than you are. Love is not arrogant or rude. Soft, so far. Love, it does not insist on its own way. Do it my way. Soft. Love is not irritable or resentful. You're confusing me. Where's tough love? Where's tough love? Okay, here we go. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. You think soft? Okay, kind of hard. Kind of hard. Sort of hard. Maybe softy hard. Toughy soft. What do you think? Yeah, a bit tough there, right? So far, of all the soft, one toughy soft. Okay, want to keep going? Not finished yet, all right? Love bears all things. It's okay. Soft, absolutely, soft. Love believes all things. Soft. Love hopes all things. Ooh. And love endures all things. Soft. You know what you've just told me? Love never ends. Soft. In everything that we have seen in this description of love, that you get up in front of a priest or a pastor or whatever, and you read this passage, love is every single characteristic except for maybe this one, toughy, soft, softy, tough. Every single one of them is soft love. Where do we get the idea that breaking is a good thing? How do we arrive at this idea that breaking is good? Maybe it's because we've been subjected to a lot. So we think that you have to be tough in your love rather than soft. And I want to say this, as we look at this, you go, some of us maybe were brought up with tough love, a lot of tough love. And some of us were brought up with a lot of soft love. And you can ask, what do I do? Do I transfer it to the next generation? Or do I learn from this? Because not many of us want to break our children. But we have what I call unintentional breaking. You do not wake up in the morning thinking, I want to break my child. I hope not. I hope you don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to break my child. I will find ways to break my child today. I hope not, right? Most of us don't set out to break our children, but we will do things that will break our children. So let me just give you some. I gave you a list of what you could do on both sides, and you say, let me choose one over the other. But let me give you two things that produce unintentional breaking, okay? The first thing at issue is the misunderstanding or the misuse of behavior shaping tools. This is what most of us, when we do shaming, threatening, making our child listen to us rather than negotiating, most of us misuse these behavioral tools that we have been taught, or that we have unknowingly based all our own assumptions on. Okay? So I'm going to give you these two misunderstood tools. And from here, you can try to manage how you might be able to use them well. The two tools are rewards and punishments. So I want to be clear. I want to have you maybe say it after me. All right? These two misunderstood tools. The first thing is this. Just to get it clear, a reward. We actually did this last month when I got people to kind of repeat this with me, and we got it very quickly. but I'm going to be a little bit more nuanced in it, okay? So, a reward is something we give to increase a behavior, all right? So, if I want to increase a certain behavior, what do? Reward, okay? On the contrary, a punishment is something we give to decrease a behavior. Very simple. So, I'll give you an example. If your child is not getting ready for school in time, get up in the morning, dilly-dally, he's playing with stuff, he's in his room, Lego is more important than let's go. Let's go, Lego, let's go, Lego. Lego seems to be more important than let's go, okay? You want the child to stop playing Lego. What do? Which one? Punish. Why? Because it's the behavior you're decreasing, right? Okay, your child is taking his salad and going, doesn't want to eat his salad. Looks better being picked up and dropped. You want your child to eat his salad. Eat your salad. Which one do you use, reward or punish? Eat your salad.
When they finish.
Wait, I don't know, okay, we'll get to that. Reward, why? Because you're trying to increase what?
Good behavior.
You're trying to increase salad eating behavior. Get it straight in your head. If you want him to stop playing with his food, what do? Punish. When you want him to eat his salad, a reward. It's a totally different mindset. So, whenever you punish, think this way. Is this a behavior I'm trying to decrease? Whenever you reward, think of it this way. Is this a behavior I'm trying to increase? Okay? What happens if it's like mixed? Like the salad thing. I want you to stop playing with your food, but I also want you to eat your salad. What happens if it's mixed? That's a big question because we are all confused. Most of us will reach for, stop playing with your food, eat your salad. Right? Maybe both together. Very confusing. Remember what I said? When you break a child's spirit, if you're successful, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Or, I'm angry. I don't like salad. I'm rebellious, right? Remember the consequences of using breaking tools rather than shaping tools. Because you can get in real trouble that way. But never confuse the two things, punishment and rewards. Never confuse them. Because if you do confuse them, you have a problem. Always have clearly in mind what behavior you are choosing to change. Always have the same behavior in mind. So let's say that your child has a particular behavior that you want to change. Can you help me out? What is a behavior you want your child to change? Stop watching TV late at night? Don't play so much video games.
Finish your homework first.
Finish your homework first. Finish your homework first. Versus don't play video games. Very specific, finish your homework first. If I want my child to finish my homework first, what do? Because you want to increase the behavior. Get it? If I want my child to stop playing video games, I punish. Right? Simple enough? So getting clear in your mind what you want your child to change in. And there are a lot of things which I'm giving you that has a two-sided sword. It's on one side versus the other. If you're trying to say stop playing video games, then don't give an iPad to your kid when you're trying to talk to your friend. Very confusing. Most of us do that. iPad is disciplinary tool. Shh! Watch a movie. Play your video game. So what is it? Do you want me to stop playing video games or you want me to do more video games? Oh, you want to do this. Watch me. Always have clearly in mind what behavior you choose to change. Secondly, if you're removing behaviors to build new ones, if you take an old behavior, bad behavior, and want to remove a behavior so you can put a new one in, stop playing with your salad, stop playing with your food, eat your salad. Prefer eat your salad. Stop playing video games, do your homework. Prefer what? Do your homework. If you're removing a behavior so that a new one can put in place, prefer this, not this. Because taking this away doesn't mean anything. Telling a child to do this means much more. That's what your target is to begin with. Be honest with yourself. All right? Because if you're honest with yourself, every time you reach for behavior replacement, the two-edged sword, every time you look for, always go for building, very seldom you go wrong. Very seldom. You're driving in the car, kids are screaming in the car at each other. They are fighting. You took my stuff, my space, I want the window, I want the right window. I want the left window. I don't care. Whatever they're screaming about. What's your target behavior? Stop screaming? No. Eh? You scream to them. Not good. How about guys, take turns. Climb over each other and take turns. Half this journey, when you're half an hour into a drive, switch sides. Replacement behaviors or building, and they say too inconvenient, then don't scream. All right? So in many ways, if you're removing a behavior to build a new one, prefer building. If you're simply removing a behavior, keep that behavior in mind. Don't switch around. Always one behavior that you are keeping in mind. Most parents do this marathon thing. I'm trying to remove this, and now don't talk back. Now I'm going to get you to stop talking back. Now don't walk away from me. Before long, one behavior leads to another behavior, leads to another behavior. You're punishing right throughout the whole way. If you are going to have one behavior in mind, keep that behavior constantly in mind. Now, if it sounds hard, it probably is if you're using behavioral tools that have to do with only punishment. All right? Because if you use this a little bit more, it's a little bit easier. This is the big fight. So, if you look at me and you go, okay, so by the way, don't keep changing your mind, right? If you look at me and you go, all right, so far I get you. You are saying that between shaping and breaking, please prefer shaping. If you're looking at reward versus punishment, prefer reward, reward, reward. Okay, but how can I keep rewarding stuff? What if I want to change the behavior? Answer, you want to change the behavior? Simple. Keep your behavior in mind, right? You want to punish, punish. But also be careful that your punishment doesn't always just break. They are shaping tools. So here are some common confusions, right? Punishing when you want a behavior increased, or rewarding when you want a behavior decreased. Such as, don't make noise, here's an iPad. You're rewarding, right? But you want a behavior decreased. Very strange. why people do that, but we all do it. Choosing a reward that you consider bad or punishment that you consider good. I was a kid once too. Surprising. I just grew up next minute. But when I was a kid, I was made to write lines. Nobody knows what writing lines is? What's writing lines? Huh? I must be good. I must be good. You heard the right. Have you ever been that? No? No? Yes? You made the right lines. Oh. I had to actually read a book as a form of punishment. Thank God that I still like books. Because when you take something that is good and you turn it into a punishment, what happens? Welcome. When you take something good and you turn it into a punishment, what happens? The child hates the punishment tool. So you ask yourself, what tool am I using? Am I using a tool that I want my child to see as noxious? That's the technical word for it. Or that I see beneficial. If I think that video game playing is not so good for a child, hours and hours and hours in front of a video game. If I think that staring in front of a phone is not a good idea, don't use it as a reward. If I think that reading is a good idea, don't use it as a punishment. This is what I mean. All right? And so never choose the wrong thing as a punishment versus a reward. Clear enough? So hopefully what you will do, and I encourage parents to do this, would you go home and would you write out a list of things that you think are rewards and a list of things that are punishment? Could you do that? List out as many as you can. Rewards, small, big, doesn't really matter. Punishments. Okay? Because if you don't, you reach for the wrong list. Number one. Number two, I'm going to get you to try to do this. Take a look at your rewards. Take a look at your punishments. And rank order them, not according to what you think, but according to what your child thinks. For example, if you think chocolate ice cream, okay, we start with that, chocolate ice cream. All right? That's a reward, am I correct? Okay. To your child, which is more precious? Which is better? Chocolate ice cream or a new video game? Okay. Video game is like that. All right. Can you try that? Help me out. Put up your hand like that. Right? And chocolate ice cream is like this. No, the other way. Your other hand. Okay. If you think that for your child, chocolate ice cream is more important than new video game, do this. If you think that your child likes video games more than chocolate ice cream, do this. Let's see. Most of you have, oh, chocolate ice cream is more important than video games? Okay. All right. You know what this exercise helps you to do? It helps you to rank order your rewards. Because if you say, I'm going to buy a new video game, who cares? Chocolate ice cream, yeah. You get it? Always choose rewards or punishments based on your child's perception. I remember a story I read. There's two children having ice cream cones. They run into the elevator, and there was a woman in it with a beautiful fur coat, mink fur coat. And the child runs on in, and the ice cream of one other girl falls onto the mink coat. Oh, ice cream on mink coat. And the woman says, oh no! And the boy says to the girl, oh no. She thinks, my mink coat. He thinks, your ice cream. You get it? Which is more expensive? One mink coat can get 12,000 ice creams. But it's your ice cream. Oh no. This applies to almost everything that you will do. When you punishments, rewards, here's your choice. You go back and you list them. And then you go, what is their rank ordering? In fact, rewards, if you rank order them in nuance, for example, I'm going to give that example later on. If you have pizza night, all right? Oh, ice cream night. Let's do ice cream. If you have ice cream night on Friday, ooh, ice cream night on Friday, you can say, let me add something to ice cream night. Sprinkles. Oh, colored sprinkles. Oh, you get it? So what have you done? You have taken a reward called ice cream, and you added to your reward called sprinkles. And not only that, I buy cherries. I put a cherry on top of the sprinkles on your ice cream. Now I got a third level of rewards. You didn't do your homework this week? No cherry. But to you, it's just no cherry. Your brothers and sisters can have all the cherries and sprinkles, not you. You know why? Because you've been beating everybody else. You've been hitting everyone else. Right? You can't do that. So I'm going to reduce beating behavior. I reward you by something more. So in your choosing of rewards and your punishments, you can add to rewards, you can add to punishments easily without reaching for the top. This is the reason why some people, they keep increasing their punishments. From yelling to yelling louder. From yelling louder to actually doing something more drastic until you get to abuse. And this one happens. Abusive behavior, people don't normally start thinking, I'm going to abuse my children. But because you have insufficient punishments and you're only using punishments, you have to keep increasing your punishment level. Right? And still, you don't get the results. Here's the problem. So, being angry in punishment, we'll talk more about anger shortly, but being angry in punishment, random in reward, inconsistent in shaping behavior, will never get you anywhere. So, we'll talk about anger, but you're random in what? Sometimes you reward, sometimes you don't. And it's not like intermittent reward. That's very different from random reward. Intermittent reward is like, if you do it, not every time I can reward you. Let me ask you, which is better, consistent reward or intermittent reward? Intermittent reward is, if you do it every 5 times, I give you something, versus if you do it every time you do it, I give you something. Which is better, intermittent reward or persistent reward, or consistent reward? Eh? Consistent reward? Think about it this way. The answer, by the way, I'll just give you an answer, is intermittent reward. It's more powerful than consistent reward. Here's the reason. Here's an example. Most of you work. Some of you just watch other people work, which is me. But some of us work, and we get paid every day. Nobody? We get paid every week. We get paid every two weeks. Yes. Some of us get paid every month. Right? Every month, too far apart. That's what research shows. If you want a person to be effective at work, intermittent reward, not every day, but not too far apart, not too close. So, 2 weeks. How many of you paid once every 2 weeks? Most of us are. Why? Have you ever asked why? The bills are coming every what? Once a month. Why are you paying every 2 weeks? You have to do math? To force you to do math? No. It's because of this research. The research that shows that intermittent reward is far more powerful than persistent reward, or is far more powerful than reward that's too far apart. So you think to yourself, if you're going to get down your list of rewards and you're beginning to create which is most important, which is less important, not to you, but to your child, all right? But be careful, because a reward they don't think is healthy, don't put it on, right? Too much ice cream is not good, right? Too much ice cream is not good, too much sugar. Okay, maybe I shouldn't use that too much of a reward, right? But think of this, not persistent. Every time you do it, I give you a reward. It works with rats. Okay? It doesn't work with human beings. But intermittent reward is more powerful. So far, so good? Now, I want to say this. Sometimes we use the wrong reward and use the punishment and reward to decrease behavior, punishment to increase. Sometimes you use the wrong thing as a punishment, wrong thing as a reward. It's like trying to pull out a screw using a hammer. Anybody ever tried that? What happens, Frejon? It'll be something like that. All right? You're going to break your kid. Or break the task that they're trying to do. So, use the right tool for the right job. So far, so good? All right. So, this is page 1. But I want to give you a little bit of help here. There are 2 types of rewards. All right? Not ice cream versus video games. 2 types of rewards. The first type, forgive me for getting too technical, okay? Because this is technical, but I'm going to give you in more understandable language. All right, so here we go. So the first type of reward is giving something that they like, a desirable. Giving a desirable, okay? The desirable thing that you're giving is called positive reinforcement. You got the language? Positive. So if you have, I'm going to give you another word for it. It's called reward proper. The idea of what's rewarding proper. If you like money, like $1 every time you read a book, I will reward you for $1. That's real reward. Now, I'm going to use this and go back later on, okay? I give you a reward of $1 every time you read a book. Every time you read a book. So what's that? Every time you read a book, I give you $1. What's that called? Persistent reward, right? Persistent reinforcement. But it's a reward. It's actually give you something that you like. It's a desirable thing. If I'm removing an undesirable thing, it's called negative reinforcement. Can you help me out? What kind of undesirable thing can I remove? Anyone? Help me out. Video games. But video games is the desirable thing. Taking away something. Yeah. Taking away something undesirable. Just be careful, because taking away something can be on this side too. Undesirable. Okay, can I give you this? Yes?
Like if you don't like broccoli, you switch broccoli out for something else.
Good. So they don't like broccoli? Well, let me give you a reward by taking away your broccoli and giving you, help me out, sweet corn?
Carrots.
Sweet corn, yeah, sweet corn, yes, more bacon. I don't know, right? That's not a vegetable. Bacon is not a vegetable, okay? All right, so you take away what is undesirable, such as you actually make your children, every single one of them, make their beds, clean the washroom once a week. If you don't have those so-called chores, you have nothing to take away, all right? You have to, your 7-year-old maybe have to cut the grass, maybe not. You risk having no toes, all right? Your 14-year-old has to cut the grass. It's okay, I'll reward you by cutting the grass for you. You get it? Taking away something undesirable. But that means your undesirables, you have to actually create them sometimes, all right? But that's a type of unreward. So it's called negative reinforcement, and sometimes it's called relief. So just understand it. The technical terms are positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, but I'm telling you it's reward proper versus relief. All right? So that's the idea. There are two types, interestingly enough, of punishments. One type of punishment is to give something undesirable. That's called positive punishment. And in the language, we call that punishment proper. To give something the child doesn't like. Right? So, what happens in the other type of punishment is removing. That's what you're talking about. Removing something desirable. So a child likes something, and you like something so much, I know you like it, but as a form of punishment, I'm going to remove it. It's called negative punishment. It's used a lot in schools. What is it called? Anyone? Time out. Have you heard of it? Time out. Time out is, the assumption is, you like to play with other children. So I take away something desirable, playing with other kids, and make you sit in the corner. That's called time out. You heard about that one? What happens if it's the reverse? I hate playing with other kids. So you say, sit in the corner. Thank you, thank you. You've just lost your edge. You get it? Because then you say, he's always sitting alone. Yeah, you did it. Successful. All right? Because you've used that as a form of punishment. Actually, it's not a punishment, it's a reward. So now, every time he's with other kids, he's acting really bad. And every time you come in and say, you're acting so bad, time out. Thank you. Thank you. You got a problem there. You get it? So know your child, but at the same time, know what the punishments and rewards are. Now, I'm wading into very complicated territory because you think to yourself, how do I remember this? Rewards, relief, punishment, time out. Now remember, all punishments are for what purpose? Right? And all rewards are for? All of them. Whether it's reward proper or it's relief. All punishments, whether it's proper punishment proper or time out, is to decrease a target behavior. Keep that in mind. So only 2 layers so far. Don't misuse the tools. So this is the way, if you're a picture taker, this will be time to take a picture, because this chart gives you some idea as to how to go about doing what and when. All right? So the chart is, if you are to explain it, giving versus removing. If you give something desirable, it's called reward. If you give something undesirable, it's called a punishment, proper. If you're removing something desirable, it's called punishment, time out. If you're removing something that's desirable, it's called relief. It's a form of reward. All right? Simple as that. So if you think, wow, that's very complex, it's actually not. If you keep in mind, all punishments are to decrease the behavior, all rewards are to increase the behavior, and if there are 2 types of punishment, remove and take away, remove an undesirable punishment, remove a desirable to give an undesirable. If a reward is to remove an undesirable and give a desirable, that's all you have. And then what you do now, I'm going to ask you to make a list. In fact, now you have more things to put on the list. In fact, now you can create things. So I had a parent who came to me with absolutely no tools. Everything she takes away, the kids goes, I don't care. Take it. She ran out of tools. She ran out of tools, literally. All right? So what did she do? Well, she comes to me. All right? She said, what do I do here? Fix my kid. I go, wait, before I fix your kid, let me fix you. All right? So let me think about this. Let me think about this. You got to figure out a way to increase the number of privileges your child has. Why should I give him privileges? So you just told me that your kid has nothing in his room except a bed. You know why? She took away the desk, she took away the computer, then she took away the desk, and then she took away the shelves, and there's only a bed in that room. The next thing she will do is she'll take away the bed. The kid's going to sleep on the floor. I said to him, you just told me you've taken away everything except the bed in the room, and you're telling me you can't, let me do this. Increase the child's privileges because you're your child's mom or parent. So what can I do? Well, how about this? Him and his brother, I said to her the idea of the ice cream night. Every Friday is ice cream night. Every Friday is ice cream night. No matter what you do, every Friday is ice cream night or pizza night. All right? So let's go pizza, since I did ice cream. Pizza night. You can make your own pizza. You can add extra cheese, bacon, pepperoni, green pepper. Yeah, red pepper, green pepper, extra anchovies. That's a punishment. But you know what I'm saying? Get your extras, make extra stuff, and then if your child isn't behaving and doing something you want to punish, you have something to take away. Here's the key. You increase privileges, you're better able to do timeout. You have more things that you engage your child with. It's far easier to create rewards without going over the top. Here's my saying to most parents. Please, when you give something desirable, let it not be coins. Let it not be money. Why? Anyone wants to give me an idea? Why not money? It's very addictive. Highly addictive. Because money, out with money, you can trade anything. With something that you build up, you do such and such, I will give you this as a reward. It's non-money oriented. That stretches your imagination. What can I use as a reward that is not money? So now, unintentional breaking. Let me talk about second and last thing, the problem anger. When we have anger, it's like adding something that's undesirable in any circumstances along with a tool. It's like giving a child a screwdriver, but lacing it with poison. Why would you give your child a screwdriver laced with poison? I don't. But that's what you do with anger. At issue is the persistent embedding of anger in behavioral tools used to modify behavior. Unknowingly, but effectively embedding anger in our kids. So you've got to be careful there. If you say to yourself, I've got a truck full of gold, I'm teaching you all these valuable things in life. I've got this truck full of gold, but if the driver is anger, it's a madman. The driver, if it's anger, is a madman. You're standing on the road, a truck is coming towards you full of gold, but the guy is crazy. What do? Run towards it or run from it? Run away as quickly as you can and hope that he'll spill some gold. But run away as quickly as you can. Because no matter how good your lessons, if you lace it with anger, it's not good. So it comes to self-control. What do you do with your anger? Question, isn't anger natural? It is. In fact, psychologists tell us that anger is the most deeply wired emotion in the human being. You don't have to teach a kid how to cry and make a bad face. From the very day they were born, they were doing that. But you have to do a lot of peekaboo to get a child to laugh. Right? Anger is natural. So there's a passage in Scripture that's taken from the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, 26 to 27. Most people read this, be angry or in your anger. The idea of be angry is this, it is natural. But not everything that's natural is profitable. Such as peeing and pooping on the spot. You have babies, you know that they pee and poo on the spot. But if you're a 12-year-old that goes, oops, you're going to go, what's wrong with you? Why? Because not everything that's natural is good. Right? It's called toilet training. But if you are saying to yourself, I have a peeping and pooping problem, not with pee and poop, but with anger, it's because it's natural, you got a problem. Because anger might be natural, but not everything that's natural is profitable. Three major components that makes it unhelpful. First, when it is destructive in nature. In your anger, do not sin. It's destructive in nature. It tears people apart. It tears relationships apart. And when you think about that, it's the breaking part of your anger. Secondly, don't let the sun go down with your anger, is what the next part says. It has to do with self-control. It doesn't have to do with living in the North Pole, where you can get angry for 6 months. And then I move to the South Pole in the next 6 months, so I can stay angry. No, it doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with back where they are, it's almost 12 hours each. It's self-control. When the sun goes down, turn it off. Just turn it off. It might not be the sundown. When we eat dinner, turn it off. When you have to come back from school, turn it off. You don't carry on an argument. Learn how to turn it off. When it's not turn offable, that means you don't know how to turn it off, you have a problem. The fault is not your child's, but yours. In other words, when your anger is out of control, look to yourself. The words, you made me angry, have no place. Because you made me angry means you have control over my anger. You get it? It's not, I don't have control over my anger, you made me angry. No. Anger needs to be under your control, not anybody else's. Don't let the sun go down in anger. And self-control, the self-control is stopping. And then the third thing that it lacks is the realizing that of the spiritual footholds. Because the verse ends, and in the English version, in most versions, it gives it in 2 verses, but actually it's one whole sentence. And give no opportunity for the devil. And you go, wow. Now, that's the Bible, because the Bible gives us insight into what happens behind the scene. Not only is there a physical, natural component to anger, there's also a spiritual component to it. And the word opportunity is very interesting because the Bible is written in Greek. That word opportunity is actually translatable as the word room. Don't give space to the devil. So what is he saying? What's the writer Paul saying? He's saying, realize that there are spiritual footholds when you get angry. Some of us will attest to that. When we get angry, it doesn't seem to just go away. Your husband, your wife does something, you don't like it, and it seems to take a foothold, and you argue and you yell and scream. It seems to put a foot, maybe not in me, but my yelling and screaming takes place in you. The foothold is constantly there. So 3 things. It is natural, but please understand its destructive nature. Understand that self-control is necessary within it, and understanding that there's a spiritual component to all anger. So for 2 major issues that we end up with. When our anger is paired with the lessons that we teach. Okay, so what's pairing? A to B, A to B, A to B. Always, that's called pairing, right? You pair the 2 things together. Every time you want to teach something, you're angry. Every time homework time comes, you're angry. Every time you tell your child to stop playing video games, you're angry. Every time you tell your kid to stop fighting with his sister or brother, you're angry. Right? If you're pairing anger with all behavioral things, and you pair anger on a continual basis, what happens is that what is learned is your anger. Because it's in everything. It's paired with everything. All right? The word pairing, by the way, is a technical term, so you can go Google it if you want. What do you mean by pairing? Behavioral pairing. So you do something, and something else also with it. That's called pairing, right? So it's like this. When you have anger, oops, where am I going? Anger, and it's paired with, let's just say, do your homework. Or it's paired with get off your computer, stop lying, get ready for school, watch your mouth. Anger is all there. It's all paired with all these, all right? Constantly paired. Every time you do any of these things, it comes with anger. You absence your anger from it, and what happens is that they learn just the opposite. There's a terrible mouth, there's no doing homework, there's always on computer, there's major lying, there's never getting ready for. So when you remove your anger, and you go, I'm not going to be angry, I'm going to take it. What happens is that what is learned is not the lesson you're teaching, but the opposition, the rebellion against it. You understand so far? So then now, the second thing that you need to realize about anger is this: when our anger is paired with a tool. So now one is the lessons. What happens if paired with the tools we use? What is learned is not the use or actually misuse of these tools in anger or brokenness or both. You're teaching anger. So I told you I had people coming to me, 17, 20-something, 30-something, come to me, and they will say to me, my parents were awful. They're always yelling, screaming, and shouting. One time my mom did this, and one time my dad dragged me out and did this, shamed me in front of everyone, and I stopped them in their stories. They remember the stories in detail, right? I stopped them in the story. I says, that incident where you said your dad dragged you out, pulled down your pants and beat you in public? Yeah, I hate that. What was he trying to teach you? He stares at me blankly. They don't remember. Do you know why? Because the tool was bigger than the lesson. I can remember how he shamed me in front of everyone. I hate him for that. What was he trying to teach you? I can't remember. I can't remember, some stupid thing. And you go, just what happened there? The tool overtook the lesson. You got it? So be careful not to lace every tool that you have with poison, the poison called anger. In other words, here's the thing that you can do. On one hand, you get avoidant children filled with anxiety. On the other hand, you get angry children fixed in opposition. So what to do with anger? What must we do? Simple. Not simple. Oh, simple, but not easy. All right? Not complex. Tell yourself there's no excuse. No excuse is good enough for anger. Don't call it by another name. I'm frustrated, I'm upset, don't call it by another. No excuse is good enough for anger. None. Make a decision deep within yourself. If I'm angry, give myself time out. Get this? Leave your anger at the door. If I'm angry, I can't talk to you right now, I'm angry. And sometimes that's good enough for your child to change. And instead, you're not lacing everything with anger. The lessons nor the tools. Here's another one. If you're with someone, a partner, your husband and your wife, you are angry, give each other permission as a tag team. I can't deal with it right now. You tell them. Tag teaming. Some people will not leave a tag team to another. How many of you watch WWF, Wrestling Federation? And they are supposed to tag team and one person doesn't tag. These are all made up, okay? They don't tag. What happens? Definite defeat. Definite defeat. You refuse to tag, you will be taken down. In any circumstance, always give permission for the other person to say, let me deal with this. So, if you give permission enough for somebody else to take over, you're not stuck in the middle. One final one, the rush of life. I don't know if I should do this. So let me do it. At issue is the stress that life presents us. So persistently that we undermine the basic principles that come with behavioral tools. So when you're under incredible amount of stress, do you yell when there's a time crunch? You got to go to school, you got to do something, there's something going on, you yell and scream and shout. Do you punish because people are criticizing you? Do you stress? Does the stress run your interaction with your child? When you're stressed, you get more angry, you get more upset, and you punish or you do whatever more. Do you get agitated because you're personally stressed? Does that happen? So 4 basic principles, and with this we'll end. In any behavioral tool, repetition is king. You need to learn how to repeat. No stress, no rush. Prediction is key. You need to learn how to predict something as it comes along. Otherwise, you'll be under stress. 3, patience is indispensable. You've got to be patient, got to be patient, got to be patient. And finally, love is irreplaceable. All right? Repetition is king. Take a deep breath. Say something, you do something once, not enough. Expect to repeat. Decide what to repeat. Decide how to say it again. Remember what I said? Don't do this. Remember what I said? Repetition is key. Just keep repeating it. Keep repeating it. Keep repeating. Prediction. Expect it to happen again. Every time you go to the grocery store, you're going to be climbing the shelves. I know you. I know you. All right? So next time I go to the grocery store, you're climbing. I didn't realize you're going to do. I knew you're going to do that. Every time you go to your cousin's place, you're going to fight. I know you're going to do that. Oh, don't you? If it happens once, twice, 3 times, you think the next time you go to your cousin's place, you're not going to fight? If I expect it'll happen again, plan what to do if it does happen again. That helps you. Then, patience. It comes with having peace within. Being peaceful within yourself, you say to yourself, one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. Too big a step, let's make it smaller step, one step at a time. And finally, love. Don't lose sight of love. In premarital counseling, I say to people, when you guys fight, and you will, right now there's no fighting. Oh, we're so lovey-dovey. Okay, you'll fight. When you fight, Give yourself a timeout. What is that? Self-control of anger, right? And your timeout, don't think, how can I get back at you? What did you do to me? Think about how much I love you. I don't want to fight with you. In your timeout, learn to love. Don't lose sight of it. Remind your child, remind yourself, you know that daddy loves you, right? Always. I've had parents who say, they know I love you, what should I keep telling you? It's a good idea to keep reminding you, right? 4 things: repeat, predict, patience, love. Last time we were together, I gave an illustration when I was dating my wife today. Many years ago, she was living in a home where it was at the Jane French area, and there were many weeds in the front yard. And because I was the new boyfriend, I wanted to make myself useful. So I visit her, and I pulled weeds, because the weeds were growing all over the front yard. The 3 girls occupied the home. Nobody knows how to do, so here's a young man who comes visit one of them, and I do weeds. And I was outside doing weeds, pulling weeds. And it's a Jane French area, high Italian neighborhood. The Italian man came along, he looks at me and goes, "What you doing?" So I'm pulling weeds. And he says, "Don't just pull weeds, grow grass." What a revelation. Huh? Gotta grow grass, gotta grow grass. Learn to teach the good things, the values in life. Learn to teach so that it will not just be full of big holes, you'll grow grass. I said to you last time, if you pass by my girlfriend's home, you'll find the greenest grass field ever. And then one day I was growing grass and pulling seeds, and the same guy came along. "Oh, good grass." I said, "Why you grow grass?" I said, "Because you told me." You're forgetful now, you told me to grow. I said, he looks at me and says, "Plant flowers. Don't just grow grass. Plant flowers." And that's an important lesson. What you do with your children, with the behavioral tools that you use, don't punish at the wrong time, don't reward at the wrong time, figure out what the punishments are, rewards are, get the whole list together, try to work that out, and you go, why? Why? Don't just pull weeds, grow grass. That's the why. And something beautiful can come out of it. Don't just grow grass, plant flowers. And then you will recognize that beyond the whole idea of just behavioral management, values management, the child who will grow up as one who is aspirational, independent, free thinking of one, I got to do things on my own, but also says to you, "Yes, Dad, yes, Mom, I'm listening to you. I understand you." That's what you want. Questions? All happy? Eat it.
A child who is persistently swearing, how do you replace that behavior?
Say again, persistent what?
A child who is persistently swearing,
Ooh.
how do you replace that?
Is that a bad behavior or good behavior?
It's a bad behavior.
So what do you do?
That's what I'm asking.
Anyone? You punish. But do you want a child to have good language? Are you going to
Yes.
teach a child better language? Because remember, every time you want to pull weeds, what do you need to do? Grow grass. So I want my child to stop swearing, but my child has no other language but swearing. And maybe I'm modeling the swearing. Maybe the TV is modeling swearing. Maybe the friends are modeling swearing. Maybe they don't know reason why else they should. If I want to grow grass, if I want to plant flowers, I got to do it the other thing too. So if a child is persistently swearing, question you have to ask yourself is, does he know what else to do? Can you say, hey, instead of saying F you, can you say, I don't like that? Can you say that? Try it. I actually talked about this last time about the values. I would say to her, hey, you know what? I shared this with my son when he was pretty young. It's because his friends were swearing left and right. And I said, you know what? Out of the abundance of the heart comes the mouth. It's because they have garbage in their hearts that they have garbage in their mouths. And I don't want to put garbage in my mouth. What about you? I don't know. Okay, let's not put garbage in our mouths. So, is there a replacement? Instead of choosing punishment, find a reward. And find a reason, find a way to instruct that. Anything else?
Yeah, sorry, I know this is maybe a little different, but when I went through the scriptures, in terms of punishment, the kind of words the Bible used, it didn't sound like cherry on ice cream, like taking away cherry from ice cream.
Really?
It sounded a little tougher than that, like the rod of correction, like him who the Lord loves, he chastens. And chastening is not a very sweet thing. And I'm just wondering if, I know I'm an African parent, but truly this is not about being an African parent. I'm thinking if it has a role to play in grit in our kids, right? Developing grit in kids. So I don't know, I may be wrong, but what does the Bible mean when it says, he who spares the rod spoils the child?
I love that word. Okay, so let's do this. When you look at the Bible in regards to punishment, most of us don't realize that everything that we have is in fact a privilege. The things that are given to us, the wealth that's given to us, the relationships that we have are privileges that we actually own. So when you look at the Old Testament, for example, which has a lot of this punishment-oriented and then some parts of New, most people realize that what was taken away from people who disobeyed God were the privileges that they actually had. And they discovered then what happens when the privileges are all removed. Okay? So, a place to live in, a place called home, is a privilege. In fact, the land they lived in was not theirs. Food that you have on the table is a privilege. And if that's taken away, then you realize. So a lot of the times, what you see in the Old Testament and also parts of the New is that privileges are removed. But we think they are not privileges, we think they are entitlements, which can be a problem. Because when your kid thinks that sprinkles and ice cream are entitlement, you got a problem, right? So you got to be careful with those kinds of communication. The second thing that I want to talk about is this: spare the rod and spoil the child. It's taken actually from the book of Proverbs. There's actually an Old Testament passage that says your kid doesn't listen to you, tell him once, tell him twice, and then drag him out and stone him in front of the people till he dies. Okay? There is a passage like that. And I shared it with one parent who looks at his kid and says, "You hear that?" Next time I'll drag you in front of the church and stone you to death. And you go, what does that mean? That actually is very interesting because those passages talk about not just the rod of punishment, but the rod of authority. Okay, there are two kinds of rods. So that's why when you read the Bible, it says, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Psalm 23, right? The rod and the staff have two different ideas. One is a rod of punishment or discipline, and the other is a rod of authority. When a child, and every time you read those passages, you will find that the child not only breaks the rod of behavior, breaks the rod of authority as well. Restoring that rod is punishment. But like I said, not all punishment is wrong. In fact, you have to be very clear what punishment is for. Punishment has a place, but is it preferable? That was what we explored today. You can use punishment, number one, if you're very clear that behavior which you are trying to decrease. You got to make sure that that punishment is noxious. It's not desirable. You got to be very clear that there are no other alternatives that you can give to this child, such as the bad language thing. Right? You got to be very clear with punishment, because punishment is a road down which there's no end. It's a very narrow road. Oh, we can talk about it later if you have other questions.
Sorry, just going back to the swearing, so can you lay a boundary in your house to say, in this house, we don't speak that way?
Yeah,
As a foundation?
See, it's interesting because there are some things that are habit-oriented too, right? There's some people who swear by habit. I think you kind of know that, right? And there are some people who swear by choice. The things that you have to get past is whether or not it's also habit-oriented. So if a person is doing something out of constant habit, they reach for it. There are other things you have to do. Boundaries may be one, but can you try to teach other things apart from you say this is, you can't cross this line. So what kind of line can't you cross? If you don't want to speak a bad language, what kind of line can you cross? Well, maybe one of those things is maybe you shouldn't say anything at all. Maybe that's a boundary. There can be other boundaries, but remember, some of these things are bad habits, right? And so to correct the bad habit, which is more than just the behavior, there are other tools which you have to use and give to the person the ability to use them. Yes. Thomas.
I think it's the distinction between shaping and breaking. I think that's so important, very clear as to what, as parents, we have to try to change the behavior of our children. Mm-hmm. Having said that, importance of love, right? We keep on loving. I know every parent loves their children, but we need to communicate that consistently, right? Especially coming from a culture where men don't communicate. So you are more like an authoritative, hey, your authority is diluted. Your authority is diluted, right? In the sense, you always have that the cultural aspect where you don't communicate to your children that you love them. So it's so important that we need to communicate consistently, constantly, that we love them. Hey, when it comes to some kind of correction or discipline, they need to know that we are doing this out of love.
Yeah.
Not as a breaking you or anything. So it's kind of not easy to make that distinction in practice. As I mentioned, Pastor, it's more about how we control our emotions as parents. Never to lose the control of the emotions, that we become angry and discipline our children. But by positive reinforcement, always in love, right? Always. I think it's so important that we tell them, hey, we love you, we love you, we love you, we love you. Every time. There's no shame in that.
Thank you.
I have a question as well. I want to touch up on something you talked about, tag team. So when you are tired or exhausted and you cannot deal with that happens to me. I'm guilty of that. So I work very intensely and I have long hours, and sometimes I get home. But I notice as well, my question is, when kids get in between what mom and dad are saying, so I'll say, go talk to your mother. She comes back, well, but daddy told me to do this. And then she comes back and is like, well, go talk to your father. So now it becomes a broken telephone.
Please do this. Try this. Let me remind you, mom and dad talk to each other.
Okay, that was exactly my question.
Let me remind you, we talk to each other. Kids will take this as a spear, and you got this umbrella. Kids will do this. Poke the umbrella. They'll keep poking the umbrella. And the thing is that you need to remind them, we talk to each other, you know. And you say, mom said this. It's okay. Thanks for reporting, but mom and talk to each other, you know. Right? And so I can check in with mom, I can do whatever, because we need to be able to be one umbrella. And kids will always test the umbrella. Tag teaming is very important. But that means that the both of you need to have the same sort of things in mind. It doesn't mean that you have different methodologies. You have the same things in mind. I was going to say when the man versus woman thing, it's the right brain, left brain issue. Men are more right or left brain? Who? Any? More right brain. Men are more right brain. Okay? Women are more left brain. More. That's statistical average. There are some people, okay? So statistically, right brain people are what? Spatial, do it. Do something. This one, language, feel something. Okay, say it, feel it. Do it, feel it. So because men are right brain, left women, men are right brain, women are more left brain, the kinds of differences that come out will show when kids upset us. So here's the key. When you actually do the tag teaming thing, you're actually giving permission for the other person to do their preference. Don't stand around and tell your spouse what to do and not to do, because they do it differently. Sometimes a switch up may actually work better. Remember? WWF. You don't tag team, you die. Okay? And one question, yes.
I have a question about positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. So both are the forms to like giving rewards to the kids, right? And like to increase behavior. When do we use like one or the other, and is one preferable to the other?
Yes, there is negative reinforcement and positive reinforcements are again punishments and rewards. But again, for one, it's preferable for rewards than for punishments. Number one. Number two, it's a type of punishment, type of reward. It's preferable always for rewards rather than punishment. It's far better to do the alternative than pure reward, pure punishment. So let me get back to that slide. Where ding 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 ding. Oh, there you go. It's better to use these than to use direct this. All right? Because then this is like one step out from a punishment, one step out from a full reward. You understand what I'm saying? So it's much better to take this side, preference, than this side. Now, between these two things, this is more preferable than this. But you're on this side, it's preferable to this side. Okay? So if you want to start approaching this and you're creating a list of rewards and punishments, try things that you're trying to remove as a desirable or give as a desirable. So these two. Right? And then you say, what's undesirable? Instead of giving the undesirable all the time, what can I take away as a relief? Yes. This is a cousin to this. It's a cousin, but this is a little bit more preferable because it's softer. A very good form of reward that's kind of soft is praise. Good job. All right. Right? Okay. Oh, one last question, if you don't mind. So sorry.
Actually, it's not a question. Today I heard a lot the word punishment, but would that be replaced by disciplines? I don't know what difference between these two, but for me, I think discipline is really essential for the teaching the child. These days, people follow the child's will rather than apply authority. Okay, tonight what we're going to eat? Oh, Mary, what do you like? 7 years old. And then the whole group of adults have to follow her. So it's, I think if we discipline the child, but you let them know you love them, that is like a hand in hand, it's a balance, rather than just a reward and soft talking and don't apply any authority. God gives children, parents, His authority and is to teach them and also love them as well. So it's, that's how the world now, I understand, is don't make people uncomfortable, don't make people angry or something, even to a baby. So for me, is I kind of confused. Yeah.
I love those words. They're called euphemisms or nice ways of saying things, right? Punishment, I call it discipline. I call it correction. So those are called euphemisms, and euphemisms may not be so accurate because the word discipline is more than just punishing. In fact, discipline is teaching. It's saying to a child who is not getting ready, hey, let me help you with this. I'm going to create a 5-point list in the morning. Get those 5 things done and we'll fine. That's called discipline. It's not like taking a big stick and saying, if you don't do it, I'm going to hit you. A discipline is the idea of putting some things into order. But don't use it as a euphemism or a nice way of saying, I'm going to hit you. All right? The same thing as the word correction. Again, correction is taking something who's gone wrong out of the wrong way, bringing it back. So then the word correction is mixed because you don't know whether or not you're punishing the wrong or rewarding the right. The word correction is instruction, helping a child understand what's right. So to answer your question, be careful not to use the word discipline or correction as just a nice way of saying, let's beat the child to death, okay? Punishment. Rather, use it in its proper context. The word discipline and correction has to do with teaching, has to do with giving a guidance for that individual. In the Bible, the word is discipleship, to disciple someone. It's got nothing to do with beating a person to death. It has to do with teaching, modeling, doing the right way, right? So in the same way, when you're disciplining, keep that in mind. It's not about punishment only. It's about teaching and instruction and guidance and good modeling of behavior. Does that help? Because it's language we use. That's why I purify it by using the words punishment and reward. And then I split up those two. That's how the science works, because it doesn't want to use all those other words. It just breaks it up for you so you can see it clearly. All right? Thank you. Sorry? One more person? You want to close up?
So now I think we have done our parenting. You know, our kids are grown up. Now it's getting ready for grandparenting, I guess. But I think my wife always had a way of the timeout, right? Timeout factor. I think she, by modulation of her voice, you know, she always was the one, not tough love, punishment, beating, all those kind of things. She had all those timeout issues. She would say, hey, Sunil, you got to do this. I'm going to do the countdown. 1, 2. And then he will shape up 3. That's
2.5?
3.3. And then they would, I think that worked so well. It still does. It
Thank
still
you.
does after.
That's a beautiful. By the way, this progressive sense of approaching punishment is actually a very good thing. All right? So we all get it all the time except for taxes. April 30th, boom, it happens. But death and taxes, right? On the other hand, I think giving your child an opportunity to learn actually helps too. The focus is not, now I get to punish you. The focus is, how do I teach you to learn? Thank you for that input. I'm going to close off here and hand my time over. Thank you for all your attention. I know that we ran over the time by 20 minutes or 25 minutes or so. I'm going to hand the time over to Joshua, who will close out for us. Thank you.
I'm not a parent, but I've had good parents. I think many of my friends and coworkers tell me, and tell my brother, my older brother, your parents are really strict. Even for me growing up in our condo, there used to be a plaque on the ground floor being like, this is an adult lifestyle building. And then afterwards they had to take it down because they realized that it was against Canadian human rights to discriminate against children, right? And kids are kids, right? But my parents were the type where like, at this time, right when the school year ended, we got those massive like exercise sheets for the next school year, and we were learning the curriculum for the next year right during the summer. They loved to limit our screen time and things like that. But my brother and I, we were very high-spirited kids. Right? We grew up, we had a hand-me-down Windows 3.1. We learned how to boot Windows through MS-DOS, right? And things like that. Our parents are like, okay, no more screen time for you, all right? And that didn't stop us. When they went out, like we would figure out, okay, they used to have this sort of particular key or plug that you could lock up the TV like plug. Yeah, we went and rummaged through the toolbox and found the spanner with the exact size to open it. They're like, okay, well, take away the computer cable. Oh, the rice cooker has the exact same AC adapter. Take away that. The water heater has the exact same AC adapter. Take away that, we have a spare that's hidden, right? And so much for discipline and correction. But I think a lot of the time they would punish when we did things wrong. And then they recognize, okay, this only comes to a point. It's like, how do we help shape values, right? Not just behavior, right? And so they're like, okay, no, these kids are something else. So we're going to need to learn to reason with them. When my brother and I did things that were wrong, and it was time to be punished, we'd be like, okay, we know what's coming, but our parents would be like, okay, you know that we love you. You know that like there are certain things wrong that you've done. Can you tell us what that was? All right, and then they're like, and then we of course would because we're self-aware. And then they ask, okay, well, what should we do to ensure that you do what's proper behavior? And then we'd be like, oh, okay. Put out the hand, right, or whatever. But then we were able to reason in that, even like in terms of, okay, locking up the electronics, right? It's like, well, what was the behavior that they're hoping for? Oh, we hope that you're able to not be distracted and do your schoolwork and do well in school. And we're like, okay, can we negotiate, right? And it's like, yeah, sure, okay. How about we realign some of those incentives, right? And I think that's something that my parents didn't get perfect from the beginning, right? They didn't get it perfect at all in the end either, but they worked on it and they were willing to learn. I think for my parents, yeah, they were super strict, but they learned to reason. They modeled well to the best of their ability. They listened, they were firm, but then they were also willing to admit when they were wrong. And they were transparent in that too. And I think growing up more and more as we understood how to relate with them, and also learning more about the family systems that they grew up in, seeing how they were did not come from families that had parents who parented well, right? And for them, they wanted to break that cycle in terms of not using things like shame or comparison or abuse, right, to control their children, but wanting to do things differently, even if they didn't always know how. One thing that I really appreciate from my parents was that they were very transparent about their faith, and also that they brought us to church as well too. For us as Christians, we know that we have earthly parents, but that we also have a heavenly Father who knows us, who loves us, who cares for us deeply, as Pastor Tim said as well, right? Who disciplines and corrects us so that we would live lives that are good, that would flourish as well too. I think I definitely had the opportunity for that, right? In going to church, more than just learning good morals, but learning the Word of God. And also going back home with my parents, talking about it. Hey, what is it that I learned? What did you learn, Mom and Dad? Right? How can we process that together? Okay, as you're holding me accountable in terms of that, I am holding you accountable too, right? And in that, we are also surrounded with wonderful family as well, where my mom didn't have a loving brother, but we were surrounded with loving brothers and sisters in Christ, right? And having that sort of unique, special, family of believers in a community of faith that were very pivotal for me in terms of my own personal growth and development, whether it was for my brother in learning how to ride a bike or swim, right? Or for me, learning to do yard work or bake, right? But also learning to be patient and kind, right? To be humble, and all of that. And so I'm very grateful for that. And it is, and continues to shape me too. Even now, for my family, our dynamics are shifting too. I definitely don't come from a typical family. My parents, particularly my dad's quite a bit older, and the more we grow in age, the more I find that the parent-child kind of dynamic is starting to reverse, right? And now I'm the one being like, Dad, did you put your dishes in the sink? Or yeah, you need to make sure to go outside more and get more physical activity, right? And it's the same values that they parented me with that now I'm also okay, holding you accountable here too, right? And I think that's a good reminder for all of us as well, right? But with that, for each and every one of you, I'm not sure what your family systems were like, but with that, we want to invite you to the family of God, right? To be part of this wider church family and community too, right? As we definitely learn, we make mistakes, we fail, we learn from it, we move and grow forward as our Heavenly Father who loves us continues to help us walk in His light. And with that, yeah, we want to encourage you. It's not easy being parents. I know, because I definitely was that smart bottom, troublemaker, right? Who'd always talk back, right? But with that, we want to encourage you all as you journey through life with your families, that there's the opportunity to be part of loving wider family too, right? And that God watches and cares for us all. So we'd love for you to be part of our Just Church family. If you haven't talked to people, do stay around. We'd love to get to know you more. And with that, we want to continue to encourage you. It's not easy, but the work that you guys do as parents and parents to be is something that we definitely, like, I don't even have words to say, but like we appreciate so much. There are no words really in terms of the love, the sacrifice, the care that you guys show. And so we want to encourage and honor you. You know, Father's Day is past, Mother's Day is gone too. It won't be around for like another year, but every single day, 365, we want to continue to encourage each and every one of you. Thank you.
And when you registered, you saw some of the gifts that we actually have. This is a stone thing that you can hang on the wall. This is a book on the Bible trivia, 5,000, if you run out of things to reward your children with. And a plaque that you can also hang on the wall that says this: God bless our family. Beautiful plaques. Now, when you came on in and you registered, you got a number, I do believe, right? You also wrote the number on a piece of Lego. Am I correct? Uh-huh. All right. So at the risk of somebody picking out something that's their own number, I'm going to ask Annie, could you pick out a number and you can read the number on it. If you have your number, just... Oh, wait. All right. Before you take it, choose the gift that this number is for. So this, which is the family one, this one is the faith one, and that's the Bible trivia one.
The Bible trivia.
The Bible trivia one, all right? Bible trivia one.
The number is 16.
16. Who's got 16?
16.
Oh! And the gift is yours. Thank you. Your turn. Thank you. And I grab that, but I'm not going to drop it back in so you don't get two gifts. All right. Can you choose the gift, the wooden plaque or the stone one?
For the next one?
Yes.
For the next person? Maybe God bless your family.
Okay, the wooden plaque, God bless your family. Pick out one and read it out loud.
Okay. The number.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. 37.
37. Who's 37?
It was me, but you can pass to someone else.
Oh, you want to pass it to somebody else? Okay. Very sweet. All right. You know what? Let me give her a chance. Since you passed it,
Okay.
here you go. The wooden plaque, right?
This, yes.
Number 9.
Number 9.
9.
Who's number 9? You are number 9. I don't think there's a number 6. Is there a number 6 around?
So she won.
All right, now. Yeah, you're wondering which number it is. All right, can you give your mic over to her? So the remaining gift is a stone plaque on faith. Now you pick out one and you read the number.
Okay. Number 21.
21. Who's 21?
21.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. There you go. Beautiful. Thank you. Well, thank you for coming. And as Joshua says, you're invited to come back. If you don't have a church to go to and you're looking for a place to worship, you're certainly welcome to worship here. Our services take place at 11 o'clock in the morning on Sundays. We are online. That's a very good way of meeting for prayer meeting and for Bible study. So you're invited to come in as well. If you need a Zoom link, just ask me. There are pamphlets that you can actually access. You actually have. So please take one. And thank you for coming. Thank you.